Systems like ChatGPT are called large language models. A large language model, LLM, is an AI system trained using machine learning on a vast array of text, including books, articles, websites, and more. What makes these LLMs so powerful is that they can generate new content from the knowledge they have been trained on. That's why this technology is called generative AI. The examples in the previous video included asking the AI questions about known facts, like how far is the sun, but I also crafted entirely new content like letters of appeal and simple contracts. You can also prompt the LLM to create a new story. It will apply its knowledge of grammar and story structures to craft a tale in almost any language you can think of. And that brings me to the second key point. The LLM has learned to put words and sentences together in a way that makes sense to humans. It has analyzed a vast amount of data to recognize patterns in human language. This enables it to predict the next most likely word in a sentence. So if we start with once upon a time, the AI predicts the next most likely word to be the, and then was, and then a. So we end up with once upon a time there was a. Now here's the thing. Because the LLM's output is human-like, it's easy to believe that it's actually thinking. Just like if we trained the monkey on everything ever written, and the monkey was able to write coherent responses to our questions, we would believe it was thinking deeply about our questions. Watch this. Thank you so much for all your help. I do have a question for you, but I'm feeling a bit sad.
I'm sorry to hear you're feeling sad. If you'd like to share what's on your mind or ask your question, I'm here to listen and help in any way I can.
See what I mean? So let's ask the AI how it's able to do what it does. I know LLMs are trained on a large corpus of data and they're able to output human-like text. But that doesn't quite explain the sometimes astounding results. It's like you're able to think. Would you explain to me what else goes into an LLM that makes it seem so magical?
I'm glad you asked about this. The capabilities of large language models, LLMs like me, can indeed seem quite magical. And while we don't actually think in the human sense, several factors contribute to our ability to generate human-like text and produce often impressive results. Conclusion. While LLMs don't think like humans, the combination of these advanced techniques and vast training data allows them to generate text that can seem quite intelligent and human-like. The magic you perceive is the result of these sophisticated processes working together to understand and generate language in a way that mimics human communication.
So basically, it's magic. Now, when interacting with large language models, anything we type into the chat box, whether it's an instruction, a command, or some context, is known as a prompt. Hence the term prompt engineering. It essentially means prompt design or prompt creation. But there is an important distinction to understand. We are not prompt engineers. The people who program the LLMs are the actual prompt engineers. They use language and code to create the system's back-end. We are the end users, interacting with the system's front end. What we do is communicate with the system. Now, let's quickly review the recent history of LLMs from the end user's perspective. A company called OpenAI made ChatGPT available to the public in November of 2022. Before that, the general population didn't have access to this technology. Today, you can pay OpenAI a subscription to access the most advanced public version of ChatGPT, or use the standard version for free. Let's do a quick recap. Large language models, LLMs, use AI and machine learning to generate content based on instructions known as prompts. These LLMs have been trained on almost everything ever written. They process human language and can produce human-like responses to any input. One of the most impressive things about these systems is that we can use voice or a chat interface to communicate with them. So we don't need to learn to code in order to use them. We can simply interact with some of the most advanced technologies in recorded history without any technical skills or barrier of entry. Now, there are some limitations which I'll talk about in a later video, but for now, we've covered the basics. And for the sake of clarity from here on, I will refer to these systems simply as AI. That saves me from having to say LLM over and over. And just so you know, the prompt examples I've shown so far were quite basic. The aim was to show how quickly you can generate content, but there are more effective ways to prompt that get you even better results. And we're going to get into that in the next video. I'll see you then.